Hi guys, welcome to Stretford Paddock. I am Adam McCullough and the news is breaking via various different outlets, not official from the club as we speak just now, but it is expected to come. And the Times and others are reporting that Manchester United have decided to dismiss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as manager after the humiliating 4-1 defeat away to Watford. Emergency virtual board meeting was called by the Glazer family during the second half of the match. And within the talks, which started at about 7 p.m. tonight, Richard Arnold was instructed to negotiate the precise terms of Solskjaer's departure with the Norwegian from the club. It is believed that it would cost United around £7.5 million in severance to pay his 3-year tenure. And it's believed Solskjaer is set to be sacked by Manchester United after a disastrous run of results culminating in that 4-1 defeat today. Fabrizio Romano has also reported that Manchester United board have decided to fire Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after 5-hour internal talks. It has been confirmed. Mutual agreement to part ways now considered. Once Joel Glazer approves the decision, it will be confirmed and announced by Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, bar the official announcement, has been sacked by Manchester United this evening. And that defeat against Watford, I was sat there thinking he's going to be sacked. He deserves to be sacked. After the run of results that we have seen, you would expect any manager, no matter who they were, to have been sacked. You couldn't really see anyone surviving the run of results that we've had here at Manchester United in the last couple of weeks. The defeat against Liverpool at Old Trafford, we thought that could be the moment that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would be sacked. It was embarrassing. It was gutless. It was spineless. We saw a similar performance against Manchester City. It kind of felt like Manchester City took their gas off the pedal a little bit in that second half. It could have been a lot worse. We all thought maybe it would come then just before the international break. Manchester United's board seemed to be split on whether they should sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or not. He was given more time. He was given up until this game against Watford. And then, obviously, we saw the performance that came. And it was a horrible performance. And when I saw the team sheet at this, before the game, I thought, what's going on here? All right, you bring Matic in to the number 6 role, pairing him with McTominay. When has that ever worked? What makes you think it's going to work now? Why isn't McTominay being held accountable for poor performances? You looked at the back, you saw Maguire alongside Lindelof. This was after Maguire had been piss poor for a while. Eric Bailly had come in and had a man of the match performance in the Champions League. He doesn't play this game. You're thinking, surely someone's got to be held accountable. You could see why players in the squad were seemingly upset, weren't getting opportunities, even when players were misfiring, not performing. No one was getting held accountable. You know, the dressing room's going to be low when you're losing, and the squad players as well are going to be much lower when all that's going on. And you've got those selection worries. And I thought the selection was a problem. The performance was a massive problem. Those players that he's been relying on and giving opportunities to, and even when they've been performing badly, have kept their spots in the team. They let him down today, some of them. Maguire, McTominay, you know, with some of the performances, red card, penalties. He made the decisions himself. And you have to be able to change something up. You have to change something up. And even beyond just picking the 11 and just picking the personnel, even beyond that, when you look at the way we're playing football at the moment. Now, I think it's been a little bit unfair over the early parts and over the years at times to criticise Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for some of his tactics, because I thought, you know, we could have done better in semi-finals and finals. We know that. But we were getting results. We were steadily improving in the league. We were playing good football at times as well. All you felt was the squad needed to improve. The squad now is a very, very good squad. We've got some quality players. You're bringing in Sancho, Varane. I know he's injured at the moment. Cristiano Ronaldo to this squad. You've got Cavani, Rashford, Greenwood, you know, Bruno, Pogba, Donny van der Beek, who's not getting a sniff, and we're seeing some of the... And you're looking at all this thinking, this team is a quality team, it's a quality squad, we can play football. But when you've seen some of the performances this season, they've been abysmal. Now you could say, and it'd be fair to say, oh, I'm trying to get these guys settled in. But against Watford, against an Everton side that aren't pulling up trees at home, against an Aston Villa side that sacked Dean Smith, it felt like every team was pulling one out of the bag against Man United and then turning to shit the next week. Leicester City got their asses handed to them by Chelsea today, by Arsenal before. Battered Man United. And the performances just haven't been good enough. And you felt like for all this time, for the last 2 years, Ollie's had the dressing room. He's had the backing. You even feel like even now the players like him, but liking someone isn't enough. You've probably got to respect them. And you've got to be well drilled by them as well. And unfortunately, Manchester United don't look like either of those teams, those things at this moment in time. And this decision coming, we expect it to come from the club. It's been reported elsewhere by the Times, as we said, by Fabrizio Romano, that Manchester United have decided to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But you look at all that and you think the decision is a right one. Now, you have to ask yourself, why has it taken until now? When you could have saw this performance coming just before the international break. Now, I'm not one of these guys. You guys watch this channel an awful lot. I was with every manager right until the bitter end. Even when maybe I thought they've lost me a little bit. I've always wanted them to turn it around. But even I knew this wasn't going to get turned around. You could see it weren't going to happen. And before the international break was probably the best time to do it. And they didn't. Now, you could say Conte, they didn't want him. So they steered clear of that. They're trying to bide their time to look for a better option. But Zinedine Zidane's available. His record in the Champions League. You know, there's other managers that are available. Now, the Brendan Rodgers talk, I ain't too keen on that. I think he's a good coach, but I wouldn't particularly want him at Man United at this stage. And you look at, you know, what he did at Liverpool, got him in a title race, should have converted it into a trophy. Did great with Leicester to win an FA Cup, but should have got top 4 twice. You looked around and you think, all right, there isn't really a manager that's screaming out saying, give me the job right now. But that shouldn't be a reason to hold on to somebody. Now, you hear that it's going to be Fletcher and Carrick that come in. And Fletcher and Carrick coming in, I'm not too sure about that. I mean, they've been part of this. What's going to change with those guys coming in? I'm not too sure. But it looks like they could be in charge for the game against Villarreal, which is a massively, massively important game for Manchester United. We need to stay in the Champions League. And I do feel, like I just said, you look at the top and there's no leadership from the top. And this should have probably come much sooner. But you feel without a choice screaming you in the face, you know, everyone wants Ten Hag. He's probably not going to come right now. You know, Zinedine Zidane feels like he's been hesitant to take the job so far. But that has been heating up a little bit more. Those are nice names, but they're probably not happening right now. And I felt that's probably why United didn't make the move earlier. But you look at it from top to bottom, no leadership at the moment. And that needs to change very, very quickly. Fabrizio Romano has tweeted again. And he says, Manchester United are working on compensation and written agreement with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It will be mutual agreement to part ways as reported before. Solskjaer will leave. It's over. Official statement expected in the next few hours once paperwork will be completed. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it's over for him at Manchester United. And I said it earlier. Obviously, I wasn't with the lads on the Paddock. But I said it earlier when I did the show on the kickoff for the Liverpool-Arsenal game, that it felt like it was a matter of time. One sec. Anything else come out? There's another update from Guardian now. So let's see what the Guardian... Sorry, I'll go back to what I was saying. Right. Manchester United's board decided to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in an emergency meeting on Saturday night and are waiting for Joel Glazer, the co-chairman who heads the American family's ownership, to approve the decision. The simple fact that we've got these pricks there is so annoying. But look, that's not an excuse for Ollie, because the results had to be better. A meeting which lasted several hours was called after the team's chastening 4-1 defeat at Watford. The plan is for an announcement to avoid describing Solskjaer as sacked and refer to a mutual agreement. It's not a mutual agreement, is it? Because if we're sitting top of the league, it's not happening. Solskjaer admitted after a 4th defeat in 5 Premier League games that his team were outfought by Watford, had let the fans down, but insisted he was able to turn their fortunes around. The board disagreed. However, Glazer backed Solskjaer late last month despite the 5-0 humiliation by Liverpool, after Ed Woodward and Richard Arnold joined Sir Alex Ferguson throwing their support behind the manager. But the directors concluded there was no way back for Solskjaer after the latest defeat. United responded to the Liverpool result by winning 3-0 at Tottenham, but have since scrambled a late draw at Atlanta in the Champions League, comprehensively beaten by City and the struggling Watford, whose only previous home league victory came on the opening day against Aston Villa. That is abysmal. And we had David De Gea as well to help thank for a lot, didn't we? A lot. We had David De Gea to thank for a lot, and his comments today, bloody hell, they were awful, weren't they? He said it was embarrassing the way we played today. The first half was very poor. It's not acceptable for this club and the level of the players that we have. It's another nightmare. There's been some difficulties, but I don't really know what to say. I've been in difficult moments with this club, but we are in a difficult situation. We don't know what to do with the ball. Bloody hell. We don't know what to do with the ball. We are conceding lots of goals. It's a horrible moment. It's easy to say the manager and staff, but the ones who are on the pitch are the players and the ones who have to score goals and fight on the pitch. We need to look at ourselves one by one and give more for the clubs and the fans. It's difficult to say why there was a performance like this. I don't know what to say. It's hard to be in the dressing room now. We are sad. We are angry. Personally, I'm hurt. It's a very difficult moment for the whole club. That is true. That is true. Look, I think Ollie is, like I was saying before, I think he was in danger of potentially ruining the job that he's done so far. Now, I wouldn't say he's been a successful Manchester United manager, because a successful Manchester United manager brings home the trophies. Do you know what I mean? But what I would say is that he has definitely improved us from when he took us over. Our team at the moment is a lot better, but the football of late has been abysmal. There's been no cohesion. This had to happen. This had to happen. It's as simple as that. And now it looks like it is happening. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. It does feel like it could possibly be Zidane at this moment in time. I don't want Brendan Rodgers, that's for sure. I don't want Brendan Rodgers at Manchester United. I think he's a good coach, but is he the coach that's going to be taking us to where Thomas Tuchel's got Chelsea, where Pep's got City, where Klopp's got Liverpool? Is he going to take us there? I don't think he is. I think he's a better coach than Ollie, but that's not just what we need. We need, a Ten Hag isn't going to come to Manchester United at this moment in time. And with the structure we've got at the club above a manager, is he going to want to take over something like that? A lot of people as well, I've seen a few people talking about these players got Jose sacked and stuff like that. First of all, that's rubbish, because when you look at the squad, it's almost completely different. It's almost complete. Like the first team squad, like Luke Shaw very rarely played for Mourinho. So how did he get him sacked? Do you know what I mean? You've got Maguire, new signing. Varane, new signing, hardly played okay. Lindelof and Bailly. Lindelof has played well at times. Are you going to say, I don't think he's perfect, I don't think he should stay, but is it, first choice? I mean, don't think he should stay. Don't think he should stay first choice. Is he the reason why any manager's getting sacked? No. We've got a good bunch of defenders there. Wan-Bissaka, he hasn't chucked tools in, as some people would say. In the midfield, McTominay and Fred. McTominay was teacher's pet with Jose Mourinho. Fred has been one of Ollie's trusted guys. And then you look going forward, it's not even the same. Greenwood, what a talent. Ronaldo's here. Rashford, what a player. Could the goals have been putting up. We've got some fantastic players. So Bruno Fernandes, none of these players got anyone sacked. So I find all that kind of lazy stuff. There's a poll right there about who you'd like as the manager. 54% Ten Hag. Zizou is an interesting one. And right now, if you were to ask me who do I want to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as Man United manager, I'm probably going Zinedine Zidane. And it's a weird one that we don't really like. People don't really rate him, which I find mad. But when you look at what he achieved at Real Madrid in both his spells there, and you can say he had a great squad and all this, that, but so have we. Yes, we need to tighten up in a few areas, but, and some of the players that I think Donny van der Beek under a new manager probably looking to stay now. A few other players will probably be like that could have been on their way out. People are saying major fluke. Major fluke? Zinedine Zidane. 3 Champions Leagues. Couple La Ligas. I don't know. Someone mentioned Ralph Rangnick as a potential stopgap, which I wouldn't be against at all. I can't see it happening though. Van der Beek scored Ollie's last goal. Mad, innit? Mad. He should have been giving Van der Beek an opportunity at an earlier point, man. And that's why, look, I'm gutted for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I hated the fact that one day this day would come. Do you know what I mean? Because you never want to see it happen to him. He deserves to be sacked, but it still doesn't take away from the fact that you just gutted for him. I wanted him to succeed. For all the doubts that I had, I remember saying after the PSG game, giving him the job would be a bit crazy. Because there's no guarantee for success, but he's just unproven. It was a doubt whether he could make us challenge for the Premier League and Champions League. In the end, those doubts were proven right. But despite those doubts that I had at the start, I've always wanted this guy to succeed. I've always wanted to see him lift a trophy no matter what it was. Because he's one of us, do you know what I mean? He's obviously a club legend. He always will be for what he done as a player. I think we had some great memories with him as a manager. But ultimately, he's not good enough. He's not good enough. And it's time to part ways. But it's still proper sad, man. Proper sad. Because it's hurting him as well. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants United to succeed. He obviously has a personal ambition and he wants to succeed himself. And people will say he should have resigned ages ago. It's hard to say that if you're in the position and you really want to succeed and this is your opportunity. He was trying, he wanted nothing but the best for Man United. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened now. But along the way, I think he got some things right. And we're a better squad because of it. And hopefully the next manager can come in and get us competing at the level that we wanted Ollie to get us competing at. So yeah, man. Gutted for him. Absolutely gutted for him. But it's the correct decision. And it maybe should have been happening 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Been a roller coaster, but here's to happier times, says ADM. And there's no guarantee, no matter who comes in, Zinedine Zidane, Ten Hag, Rodgers, no matter who it is, we're all going to get behind them. But there's no guarantee they're going to be a success. I don't want Rodgers personally. I do want Ten Hag. I do want Zidane. Let's say we got a stopgap. If Poch got sacked from PSG, I'd still fancy a little bit of Poch. Not going to lie. I don't really judge people based off what they do at PSG. We saw with Tommy Tickles, he left there and he was sat there and he's a fantastic manager. But if the decision was to make a decision right now and we have to pick our manager, I'm going Zinedine Zidane. That's what we've got. Go for the Champions League this season. Give him a year's contract. Give him a contract to the end of the season and see what happens. Aaron Gooden says talks of Fletcher taking it to the end of the season. That would be a joke, and it would be a massive mistake. You may as well just leave Ollie in, for God's sake. I don't want Bielsa. Zidane does speak English. I'm sure I've heard him speak in English before. Did I imagine that? Someone said Laurent Blanc, interim. Ronaldo, Lucien Favre, Brian Robson, Fergie. Give it Giggsy. Blanc till the end of the season. Oh, man. Zidane and give him money to buy a DM in January, please. He could attract someone into that position, innit? It's a shame Camavinga's already gone. Brian Potter. Oh, man. Let's see what this is. Looks like the end is close, says Simon Stone with his tweet. It does look like the end is close. We've had no further updates on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But The Athletic have posted in the last 17 minutes that Manchester United have decided to part company with manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The Athletic understands that after talks on Saturday evening, hours after United suffered a 4-1 defeat at Watford, the Glazer family decided that the club would begin negotiating the precise terms of Solskjaer's departure. The club are determined to ensure Solskjaer receives a respectful parting, with a formal announcement expected in due course. It is possible that Darren Fletcher will be placed in charge on an interim basis. He could be assisted by Michael Carrick, whose position at the club remains intact as of Saturday night. I don't understand what good it is leaving Darren Fletcher and Michael Carrick in charge. I know Darren Fletcher isn't part of the coaching staff at Man United, but I don't understand that decision there. I just don't. So yeah, I don't get that one. But the Athletic are now following the Guardian, the Times, Fabrizio Romano, Telegraph have come with Darren Fletcher to lead temporary first team coaching staff when Ole departs Manchester United this week. Story on a tumultuous day in the life of United. Ole on the brink of the sack. But what we do know and what we have heard is Manchester United have decided to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this evening after the 4-1 defeat to Watford. It was an embarrassing defeat for Manchester United. The run of form has been disastrous as well, despite a good win against Tottenham. It was obviously one that papered over the cracks, as Watford beat us 4-1 comfortably. City beat us 2-0 comfortably. We nearly lost to Atlanta, barring a Cristiano Ronaldo Champions League special. Liverpool beat us comfortably. Leicester beat us comfortably. We conceded 4 against Leicester, 5 against Liverpool, 2 against City, 4 against Watford. How many goals is that? 15 goals that I've just said. Not a good look at all. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer leaving the club. We've got a super chat here from James, who says most managers will fail if things don't improve at board level and in recruitment. Van Gaal and Jose had good CVs as you can get and failed. Whilst I agree with that, and I do think things need to improve above a manager's level, as we mentioned earlier, I think everything at the club is wrong. The structure above the manager is wrong. Ole come in and tried to implement some changes which would improve that, but everything's wrong when you've got Joel Glazer and Ed Woodward and clowns like that running around and all those kind of things. It's wrong. But we do need to resolve that above them. But at the same time, when Gary Neville kept saying, and I don't like to use Gary Neville because he's just another fan of the club, so I'm not using his opinion as a stick to beat him with. But when it's the best example I've got, when he says, they tried that with Van Gaal and Jose. I disagree with that because there's not just 2 managers in the world. And there's not just 2 ways of thinking. Every manager has their own way of thinking. Every manager will be a success or a failure because of their own ways of working. Jay said Rooney wants out of Derby. Give him an interim manager. No. Rana says, what do you think of Ali's managerial career after leaving? Any hope of him recovering like Moyes did recently? I think it's shown that he can take a club up to a certain level. He got some good results along the way, which he could point to. He got us consistently in the top 4, which he could point to. But let's say Rodgers left Leicester at the end of the season. Could I see Solskjaer being in the mix? I couldn't see him getting the job, to be perfectly honest with you. Which may be unfair, maybe. I don't know. But I just couldn't see that happening. Sad times. Anyway, I think it's the right decision. When I say sad times, I'm just gutted. You know, Ali's hurting. Sad to see Ali sacked, but it's the right decision. It is the right decision, isn't it? Give captain to Ronaldo, says Remster. I would love to see, and I think any manager comes in and replaces Harry Maguire as captain. I don't think he's good enough to be captain of Manchester United. Alexander says, think Fletch will just be till the next set of internationals. Hard for a new manager to change anything 48 hours before the next game. Gives time to make the right choice and not rush a decision. So let's see the fixtures that we've got. I know we've got Villarreal and Chelsea coming up. That's what I do know. Then we've got Arsenal on the 2nd. The 5th we've got Palace. That's a long time to the next international break. You need a manager in ASAP. ASAP. You do need a manager in ASAP. In my opinion. PSG insists Mauricio Pochettino will not be leaving. Anyway, guys, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been sacked by Manchester United. They've reached that decision this evening. No official announcement from the club just yet, but we are hearing from the Telegraph, from the Guardian, from Fabrizio Romano, from MEN, from various different places that Manchester United have sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or made the decision to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We hear Darren Fletcher could be assisted by Michael Carrick for the next game or two. Who knows when we get the next manager in. There have been some reports from a journalist at CBS. Again, take it with a pinch of salt that United made contract with multiple managerial candidates before the loss to Watford, including Ten Hag. So at the moment, we're just waiting for the official confirmation from the club that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been sacked. But it does feel like it is coming. Ahmed says, I also don't want a Rodgers. One major difference between him and Ten Hag, Zidane and Rangnick is they won't hold back and will call out the board for not supporting and sorting out internal issues. The thing is, you need a manager in a strong enough position to do that. And I don't think a manager can just come in and start doing that immediately. They probably need to get some success under their belt, make their position untenable before they start calling the shots, similar to a position that Sir Alex Ferguson would have been in. Manchester United have downplayed speculation linking Zinedine Zidane with the manager's role, and sources have suggested the Zidane links have been a tactic to appease an increasingly frustrated Cristiano Ronaldo. That is coming from Samuel Luckhurst, so take that with a massive shovel of salt. Anything else, we will let you know, of course. But the latest news report is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been sacked by Manchester United. I think it's the correct decision, but sad nevertheless, isn't it? But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you keep it locked to Stretford Paddock. As soon as we have more news for you guys, we will, of course, be back. Until next time, I've been Adam McCullough. I'm out of here.